It doesn't fucking matter what side you're on. It really doesn't. I don't care if you're left. I don't care if you're right. We need to talk about Cameron Kasky and political polarization.
My message for the people in office is you're either with us or against us. We are losing our lives while the adults are playing around.
First of all, what the fuck has happened to this country? The right has become like so vehemently opposed to the left, and the left has become so vehemently opposed to the right. It's a little pathetic, and gun control really has exacerbated this, especially with the recent shooting in Florida, which is horrible. But all of a sudden, we're seeing all these protests from the left, and all of these people on the right who are basically just defensiveness. They're putting up that brick wall and and claiming that liberals are trying to take their rights away. I don't really care what you believe. The problem that I see is the way we're conducting our rhetoric in this country. And Cameron Kasky, the 18-year-old high school student who was a part of the high school that was victimized by the high school shooting, he's a kind of a part of that problem. And I sympathize with his cause, and I also sympathize with the fact that he's only 18. So I don't expect any 18-year-old to be a master rhetorician. Although, just watching him, I think he definitely has some potential as a rhetorician. But anyways, he was quoted saying, "You're either with us or you're against us." And that really does sum up this bullshit attitude of the 2018 millennial generation of politics. So the reason that this is bullshit, let me try to persuade you. This is the chance where I try to persuade you to my point of view. I have to take it back to Aristotle. Aristotle, Greek logic, categorical logic. Aristotle thought every piece of truth could fit into either, he called them propositions. Every proposition could fit into one of four categories. Either all of this is that, either none of this is that, and these are the absolute propositions. And then we have the particular propositions, which are some of this is that, and then some of this is not that. And how does this have to do with Cameron Kasky? Well, when you say that you're either with us or you're against us, what type of proposition are you making? Essentially, you're making an absolute proposition. It's an absolute statement. There's no in between. There's no, a part of me is against you. Maybe a part of you isn't. Either either he's the leader. And he's not claiming to be a leader, but the way he speaks, the way he's giving his rhetoric definitely implies that, more so with his nonverbal communications, rather than what he's literally saying. But anyways, so I agree with him in some ways, and I disagree with him in other ways. I'm a centrist. I'm politically a centrist, and that's just the way I am. So when in the ways that I agree with him, can I really say that I'm with him? Well, I'm with him some of the times, and I'm with him, I'm not with him some of the times, because there's some things that he says that I don't think is wise to say, that I don't think is reasonable. And then maybe you might say I'm against him. But to say I'm absolutely for him or absolutely against him, well, I'm not going to pigeonhole myself like that. I'm not going to fall for the absolute bait. That's what I call it. It's like when somebody makes a statement like that, they're baiting you into thinking an absolute statement, either all of me is this or none of me is that, rather than some of me is this and some of me is not that. I hope I'm making sense. I really hope I'm making sense, because I feel like I'm not making sense. I don't know. But anyways, so absolute statements kind of represent the political polarization of our country. Either you're way far, I guess on the camera this would be right. So either you're way far right, or you're way far left, and that's kind of what political polarization has done. There's not a whole lot of room for people like me. I feel like I'm underrepresented. Someone who's in the middle, a centrist, who's in some ways liberal, in some ways conservative, who doesn't like absolute statements. Some of the times I'm going to be liberal, and some of the times I'm going to be conservative. But that doesn't make me liberal or conservative. We need more of this. This is gonna sound arrogant as fuck, and I realize this, but we need more people like me in this world. We need more people who don't follow this absolutist dogma that has unfortunately tainted the politics of our country. This isn't new. This isn't new to politics. George W. Bush was quoted in saying similar things. He was saying that either you're with me, George W. Bush, or you're with the terrorists. So you're either on my side and you're letting me be the leader of this nation in the fight in the Iraq War and the Afghan War, or you're with the terrorists.
Every nation in every region now has a decision to make. Either you are with us or you are with the terrorists. You're either with us or you're with the enemy. That's clear. I will continue to make that clear.
And that was a long time ago. I must have been 16 years old when he was saying shit like that. But I remember that. And I remember it was just so silly. And all of my friends were like, oh, this guy sucks so much. And my parents are really liberal. And they were saying, oh, this guy is just terrible, this horrible person. And then, you hear some other people that are like, yeah, George W. Bush, you're either with him or you're against him. And that kind of rhetoric sort of set the stage for political polarization I'm going to coin this phrase, the generational political polarization, the type of polarization that's really unique to generational culture. And I'll put a clip of George W. Bush saying that just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. So if you got to the end, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm pretty brand spanking new to this. I'm pretty new to YouTube. I'm new to public speaking. And I study a lot of psychology, and I've studied logic and ethics, and I know a lot more about that than politics, I'll admit. But I still feel like I have something to say about this. But if you liked what I said, then please, I don't give a fuck if you like the video, because I think the like button is broken. It doesn't do anything. But leave a comment, not because comments do anything, but just because I want to hear what you say. I want to hear your voices, and I want to have some discussion. So yeah. Yep. That's it. Bye.